Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to see about the control of bioenergetics. Some of the systems I just sort down it, that is ATP CP system, that is ATP phosphocreatine system, glycolysis system, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain. So first we will see the ATP CP system. Now who will control this? So first the body uses the feedback system, okay, to balance the energy supply with the muscles needs. So the enzyme which involved in the control of ATP CP system is the creatine kinase CK, and how it will regulate. So the regulation of this is to increase the ATP that activates the CK, and then it stimulates the ATP regeneration. So this is the regulation. So who is the one who is controlling? That is the creatine kinase, and how it's regulating that ATP is increasing. Because of that, CK is getting activated, creatine kinase activity is getting activated, and because of that it will stimulate the ATP regeneration. And as the ATP increases, the CK will inhibit. Okay, the CK will stop, or it will inhibit at that place itself. So it will prevent the unnecessary breakdown. So it will be very fast, and immediate response will be there to ATP demand. And this is simply just a on and off switch in which the ATP turns it on and ATP turns it off. Okay, so this is the control of the ATP CP system. So now the next is the control of the glycolysis. So in the glycolysis, the key enzyme is the hexokinase in the entry step. During the starting stage, the first enzyme which get activated is the hexokinase. And then there is a rate limiting enzyme who will rate limit, that is a phosphofructokinase, okay, PFK. And then the final step will be for a pyruvate kinase. So the entry step will be hexokinase, the rate limiting enzyme will be phosphofructokinase, and the final step will be the pyruvate kinase. And how it will regulate? In this, the ADP will increase, AMP and PI will be there, and it will stimulate the glycolysis. Okay, then ATP will increase, in which citrate and low pH will be there in the lactate, and it will inhibit the glycolysis. Okay, so phosphofructokinase acts like a main gatekeeper. When the energy demand is high, it speeds up, and when the ATP is enough, it slows down. Okay, so phosphofructokinase, it acts as a main gatekeeper. Now next we will see a control of the Krebs cycle. So in this, the key enzymes are the citrate synthase, isocitrate dehydrogenase, and alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. Okay, so first is the citrate synthase, second is the isocitrate dehydrogenase, which is the rate limiting, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. So these are the three key enzymes. Now how it will regulate? So first it will stimulated by the ATP, and the calcium will be there, which is the muscle contraction signal. And what is the inhibition? Is the inhibited by the ATP and the NADH, in which we can say that ATP is stimulating, ATP is inhibiting. So Krebs cycle is strongly influenced by the calcium. Okay, so Krebs cycle will strongly influenced only by the calcium, or we can say it solely depend on the calcium. So as the muscles contract, it activates the ATP production. Okay, now next we will see the control of the electron transport chain. So in electron transport chain, it is controlled by the availability of the NADH and the FADH2. Okay, that is the electron donors, and the oxygen, that is the final electron acceptor. Okay, the oxygen is the final electron acceptor, and ADP and the PI is the substrate for the ATP synthesis. Okay, so these are the three things. What are the first? NADH and the FADH2 is the electron donors, and the final electron acceptor will be the oxygen, and the substrate for the ATP synthesis will be the ADP and the PI. Okay, and what is the regulation principle of it? So it will be like a respiratory control. Okay, so it will increase the ATP demand and faster the ETC. So as the ETC runs faster when the oxygen and the ADP are abundant, so low oxygen will bottleneck and the anaerobic will relance. Okay, so as the ATP runs faster when oxygen and the ADP are abundant, so at that time there will be low oxygen, then there will be a bottleneck, and then the aerobic reliance. Then the next is the integrated control. So integrated control is the energy pathways that interacts dynamically. Okay, how it's interacting dynamically between every cycle. So during the high intensity there will be ATP CP and the glycolysis which dominates. During a moderate and the long duration, Krebs etc which dominates. Okay, and the feedback signals will be by the ATP, ADP, NADH and the calcium which coordinates the shift. Think of the systems as a gear in the cars. Okay, as the gears are working in the car, different gears are engaged depending on the speed and the effort. So same in our body, depending upon the intensity, our system will get switched accordingly. Okay, so I think this is the end of it. Not a much big topic it was, because I already took all these things, and as you can see this graph I already explained in the previous part 1. So if you are new to this video, you can go and click that link in the description box. And this is the this is the table which I already explained in the part 1 related to the sports. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe my video, and don't forget to hit the bell icon.